I would be interested in Rich.
Brooke, please understand. I'm not feeling insecure or concerned or suspicious about your feelings toward me. But let's face it, there have been some enormous changes. And I don't want either one of us hiding from that.
By changes, you mean Caroline's death?
Yes. It was so tragic. Terribly tragic. And yet, I can't help feeling that Caroline was very much aware of what her death would do to Ridge. How that would affect him. And she did know that, didn't she?
Yes. Yes, she knew.
Of course she did. And she tried to do something about it. I mean, that was painfully clear to all of us the night of the party, the night that she deliberately matched you up with Ridge. Brooke, look at me. It has to have occurred to you that this man you loved so much less than a year ago is now without a wife. That has occurred to you, hasn't it?
Hey, there you are.
Well, hi, honey.
Hi. How about you join me for a little dip in the pool?
No, thank you.
Mother, it might help.
Oh, do I look as though I need help?
Yes. That look on your face when I just walked in here, you need help.
Oh. Well, maybe it's because Storm Logan dropped by to see me.
Really? What did he want?
Oh, he thought that he could persuade me into proceeding with the divorce. Actually, he had some very articulate arguments.
What were they?
Oh, he thought that the court would not look kindly if they understood what I was trying to do. Of course, that's assuming that the court would perceive that I'm using stalling tactics.
Which is what you're doing.
Thorne, I have one very good reason for fighting this divorce. I happen to love your father.
You don't want Dad to be with Brooke, and it's as simple as that.
Am I the only person in this family that sees what's going on here?
Mother, what's going on here is that Dad is involved with another woman, and I don't like it either.
It isn't that Dad is involved with another woman. He's involved with someone who's much younger than he is, who got herself pregnant by him.
All right, even if that's the case, it's his life.
No, Thorne, it's not his life. It's our life. Brooke's life hasn't been destroyed. Eric's has. My life. Our family. I am going to fight for that life, and nobody's going to convince me to do otherwise.
Well, I thought I was the only one still here.
Hello, Margot.
Is that actually you, Rich?
No one else.
I didn't even know you were back.
I just got here. I feel like I'm in a time warp. All these things on my desk. I was working on them before. Before it happened.
Are you sure you want to be here?
Oh, this is where I belong. Probably more than anywhere else.
Well, I heard that you went away.
Yeah, for a couple of days.
So, why didn't you stay away longer?
Friend convinced me I didn't have to.
Friend?
Yeah. Brooke Logan. Remember her?
שיש טעמים שנשארים איתך כל החיים.
איך הם לא מתביישים? מה, נולדתם אנציקלופדיה בפה? מה זה?
תלמידי קידום אינם זקוקים לתירוצים. קידום, לך תצטיין.
אם הכאבים משגעים אותך, קח קסמול פלוס, הקפליה לפעולה חזקה בשיכוך כאבים עם 2 חומרים פעילים. בקסמול פלוס, די לכאבים. ההגדרה:
התרופה הנמכרת ביותר בישראל לשיכוך כאבים והורדת חום.
דקסמול! דקסמול היא תרופה יעילה ובטוחה, והיא התרופה הנמכרת ביותר בישראל לשיכוך כאבים והורדת חום. דיאטת טרימקס 2000 היא דיאטה יעילה ביותר. היא מעכבת את הפיכת הפחמימות לשומנים, מוסיפה לגוף אנרגיה וחיוניות, ובמקביל גורמת לתחושה של סובה. טרימקס 2000, מרשם בדוק להרזיה טבעית.
ההורים שולחים את הדבר הכי יקר שיש להם אליי, לשבת עם ילד, ובאמת אחר כך לראות את הברק הזה בעיניים של אופס, הבנתי, אני יודע, זה הכי 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 כיף בעולם.
ילדים זה עם. רוצים לקנות את כל העולם. הילדים. אמא תקני לי ואמא תקני לי. מה אני, ארנק ענקי עם פה ואוזניים? מה אני, כספומט עם רגליים? אז ישבתי, חשבתי ומצאתי פתרון. קניתי להם את הקניון.
חדש מקודקוד, הקניון. נכנסים לקניון ומי שמצליח לפסבס הכי הרבה הוא הזוכה. הקניון של קודקוד, המשחק שיקנה אתכם.
כולנו ביחד. קודקוד!
דני, אין חלב.
הטעם של קורנפלקס תלמה, מה שאנשים מסוגלים לעשות בשבילו. חדש בקולנוע, אהבה בין הכרמים.
Will someone tell me what is going on?
Your daughter. She is married. I want the truth.
I'm pregnant.
סיפור האהבה של השנה.
Why can't you just love her? She's so easy to love.
קיאנו ריבס, אהבה בין הכרמים, בבתי הקולנוע. ויסוצקי, כבר 150 שנה, ועכשיו חדש מוויסוצקי, תה אינגליש ברקפסט אמיתי מסדרת בלק לייבל היוקרתית.
המיליארדר סיסי קפואל רצה רק לשמור על שלמות משפחתו. זה הולך לעלות לו בחיי אדם. סנטה ברברה, האופרה הלאומית, שני וחמישי ב6.
עוד 3 ימים לזהו זה חי.
קומו! שן! טוב.
זהו זה חי, שני ב9:05.
בני יהודה בצרות, במשחק הזה אסור להם להפסיד. באר שבע עושה חי, דווקא משחקות, צריכת לנצח כדי להימד לצמרת. שידור חי מחר, ב5:45, תל עד. שבת בתל עד, ב2 ננו, גוסטבו ברמודס בסיפור האהבה הבלתי יאמן ננו לקמילה. ב4, סודות העיר, הסדרה עטורת הפרסים חוזרת. וב5:45 שידור ישיר של משחק הכדורגל בין בני יהודה תל אביב להפועל באר שבע. שבת בתל עד, אתם לא לבד.
You know what your problem is? You are living in the past. And your attitudes and your feelings towards Brooke are just not valid anymore, Mother.
Well, you're certainly entitled to your opinion, Thorne.
No, it's more than an opinion. Do you realize that you're the only person I know who feels negatively towards Brooke?
I see. She finally won you over.
No. She didn't win me over. Caroline won me over. And if anyone had a reason to find fault with Brooke, it was Caroline.
Thorne, there is absolutely no comparison. Brooke did not move into Caroline's home and marriage uninvited.
Oh, come on. Brooke didn't do that. Your son invited her into this house.
And Ridge had no business doing that. It's my home. Brooke should have known better. She should have come and talked to me when he suggested it.
Oh, Mother, this is history. This is history. Why are you even bringing this up?
Because you are the one that's saying that I'm being unfair to her. Unfair to her. She's sleeping with my husband.
All right, forget about Brooke. As Dad says, Brooke is irrelevant anyway.
She isn't irrelevant, Thorne. If she wasn't still in the picture, I believe that your father and I would be reconciled. We'd probably be in counseling, but I think that we would be together.
You know, somehow I think Dad would disagree with you.
Well, of course he wouldn't agree with me. That's why she's relevant. My God, he's under her spell. She's carrying his child.
Mother, would you just listen to what you're saying? He is under her spell? My father, the man that you married, who has been working with women for the last 30 years, beautiful women, international models. Much of the time, Mother, they were half-dressed. He is not under anyone's spell, and never has been. And don't tell me that this is some kind of a midlife crisis, because if it were, trust me, he would be having a field day at work right now. But that's not what Dad is after. And it's not what Brooke is offering him. Mother, he loves her. And she loves him. And if you can't see that, either you are blind or you're just not looking at reality. And either way, now you have to make a change for yourself, for your sake. And you've got to do it now.
What do you want me to say to you, Eric?
I want you to tell me how you feel about my son.
I feel a mixture of emotions. Pain, sorrow, grief, and so much sympathy and pity for Ridge that I don't even know how to describe it. But I'm sure you want to know what's underneath all that.
Yes, that's what I want to know. If you can tell me about it.
Yes, I can tell you. I can tell you exactly how I feel about Ridge.
Brooke went with you?
No, she came up to the cabin. She found me there.
Oh. How did she know you were there?
I guess my mother told her.
Your mother told Brooke? Don't you find that a little odd?
To tell you the truth, I hadn't really given it much thought. But you're right, it is strange that Mother told Brooke I was up the cabin.
Well, she must have realized that you needed support, and who better to supply that than Brooke?
Interesting.
What?
Just what you just said. It reminded me of something someone else just said today about Brooke. Margot, you're gonna have to excuse me. I have to go somewhere.
Where are you going?
Out.
You know, that's an answer I haven't heard you give for a long time.
Well, you better get used to it then.
Ridge was the man I almost married. And I would have married him if he hadn't ended it. He was the first man I ever truly loved. And yes, when we broke up, for months I still yearned for him. I wanted him, and I cried for him. I would have done anything to get him back. Even after he married Caroline, I still longed for Ridge. I never thought I'd get over him. But I did. And I did because of you. For the past 8 months, I haven't thought about Ridge. Not that way. angry and feeling a lot of pain. But Eric, there is one thing that hasn't changed. And that is the way I still feel about you.
Would you please just tell me that some of what I'm saying is getting through to you?
Oh, Thorne, I don't know. Maybe it is getting through to me. Maybe it is.
You know, if Caroline's death taught us anything, it taught us that, first of all, Brooke is not such a bad person. And that life is too damn short. Two very important lessons.
You seem so convinced. If Brooke is what you say she is, I guess I have to try and see it.
So say it. Mother, that's what Dad has been trying to get you to do for the last couple of months. But don't go over there if you're just going to argue with her.
No. Time for arguing is finished. I don't know. Maybe she really does love him.
I wish I could tell you that she didn't.
I wish you could tell me that, too.
Hey. This is a significant day.
I don't know. I guess I should try and be positive about this, shouldn't I? Maybe tomorrow.
That hit the spot.
Now I'm ready
For what?
for anything.
Well, how about some lamb chops for dinner?
How about some Logan chops?
No, Rich! You stay right there. Don't you dare move. Do you realize that this very spot I'm standing in is where it happened?
Where what happened?
You told me you loved me for the very first time.
Did I tell you that?
Don't mess with me, Forrester.
Okay, I'm sorry. I won't.
Okay.
I must have been drinking something that night, right?
No, you weren't drinking. You're asking for trouble. You know that? But now that we've brought it up, why don't you say it again?
Say what?
You know what? Those 3 little words.
Hey, it just won't come out.
Well, maybe I can help you.
Yeah? Hey, come on.
Say
no,
it.
come on.
Say it,
Stop.
Forrester, come on.
No, say it. Stop.
Say it. Please.
I love you, Logan. I do. Logan?
Rich.
Mind if I come in?
Oh, please do. I didn't expect this.
What are you doing in here?
I was just looking at the family album.
Yeah, memories?
There's some pictures of Caroline in here from when she was living here.
Are you having as much trouble with this as I am?
I think about her every day. Almost every hour out of every day.
She loved you. You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know that.
Pretty incredible when you think about it. The only two women that I ever really cared about. And they wind up being best friends.
Just your luck.
Yeah. Just my luck.
So, what brings you by?
Oh, just a routine visit.
There haven't been many of those lately.
Nothing seems to be routine anymore, actually, does it? At least not to me.
Things do get easier.
Oh, they sure can't get harder.
Poor Caroline. This is exactly what she didn't want.
What did she want, Logan? What did Caroline want from me?
A smile. She told me she wanted a smile for you, Rich. And that look you used to get when you had a surprise, but you didn't want to say what it was. She wanted that, too. And your grin. That teasing grin of yours. Which you used to be wearing most of the time, as I recall. She wanted that for you, too. She wanted all of your happiest times. And she was willing to go to any length to make sure you had them. Which is why it's so terribly painful for me to see you like this. Because it's not what Caroline wanted. It's not what she worked so hard for those last few weeks of her life. She wanted the opposite for you, Ridge. She wanted love and happiness. Not this. Not this. Anything in there for me?
Yes, you got a card here from one of your hippie friends in Europe.
They're not hippies, Mr. Conservative.
Felicia, what is that? Is that a man or a woman? Or neither?
That's Brandy. Wait a minute. No, that's Bernie. Well, they're brother and sister. They look the same anyway.
Lovely.
Speaking of brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Well, it's about a friend of mine.
One of those two?
No, he's local. And he's having trouble with his sister.
What's the trouble?
Well, it's very dark and sinister, and that's all I can tell you. Neither one of them wants to talk about it.
Well, who is this guy?
Well, I told you he's a friend.
Someone that you're close to, right?
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah. Is this Jake McLean?
Look, I don't want this to be part of the family dinner discussion, okay?
Don't worry about it. I didn't even know that he had a sister.
Yeah, well, wait till you hear who she is.
What, I know her?
Yeah, it's Margot Lindley.
Those two are related?
Yeah, surprised me, too.
And they don't get along.
It's worse than that, Thorne. Margot doesn't even want to hear his name mentioned. Sometimes I honestly think she wishes he were dead. And the worst part is that Jake is crazy about her. And I'm stuck in the middle with no idea how to handle this.
Stephanie.
Yes, Eric.
If you're looking for Ridge...
No, I'm looking for you.
For me?
Yes, I want to talk to you.
What about?
Well, I'm so thrown that I kind of don't know where to begin.
Did something happen?
Yes, something's happened.
The devil.
Worse than the devil, Mr. Spencer. Believe me, much worse than the devil.
Well. If it isn't Miss Spectra.
Mrs. Garrison, please. I was recently married, which you, of all people, ought to remember.
Oh, yes, of course, the most erstwhile marriage.
Mm-hmm, the wedding. The one where you invaded my privacy and trespassed on my property in order to get some photographs. And then published those photographs. And caused a young lady named Macy Alexander to lose the boy she was in love with and wanted to marry. Of course, none of this means anything to you.
Why should it? I'm not the one that kept my identity a secret. That was Miss Alexander's tactic.
And that was foolish of her, wasn't it?
Well, I think we learned a very important lesson here, Sally. Live with deceit and you get burned. Now, it happened to her, and that's the way it goes.
Live with deceit and you get burned, hmm?
Those are the cold, hard realities.
Now, you, of course, wouldn't be deceiving anyone, would you, Mr. Spencer?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, Sally, I'm not deceiving anyone.
You sure about that?
Are you suggesting that you have something on me that you're going to run off to my wife with? Tit for tat, so to speak? Well, what is it? A doctored photograph, a disgruntled employee with some very nasty little tales to tell? Well, you go right ahead. Talk to Margot. I have nothing to hide from my wife, and she trusts me implicitly.
That's nice. But this has nothing to do with your wife. It's far more significant than that.
You know, I really have to hand it to you. You certainly are not a bore. So, why don't you tell me what you have to say?
Did you ever hear of a minor little publication called Temptation Magazine, Mr. Spencer? No? Well, how about cable girls, shady ladies, party boys, stud? Hmm? You want me to go on?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's amazing because you own all of those magazines, Mr. Spencer. You own each and every one of them. The list is endless, and it's very revealing in more ways than one. Can you imagine what the pillars of this community would think if they knew that a model citizen church-going gentleman and family man like yourself was in reality Los Angeles' most notorious porno kingpin? Can you imagine the commotion that would cause? Can you just imagine that?
Thanks.
Looking through the family photo album, I see.
You're right, there are a couple of great shots of Caroline in here.
You can have them if you want them.
I've got plenty. You keep them.
You didn't see the pictures that Thorne took by the swimming pool, did you?
The house? Yeah.
that one of you. See that look on your face? It's hysterical.
Well, what did you expect? You just poured a glass of ice down my shorts.
Well, I had to cool you off somehow.
This one really brings back memories. Taking the boat out at 3 a.m.
I had a near-death experience that night. Don't remind me.
Come on. You were in great hands.
The hand I was in were holding a champagne bottle in the glass. I had to steer, and I've never even been in a boat.
You did great.
Oh, yeah. I beached us on Catalina Island.
And as I remember, we wound up spending the night.
Now that part wasn't so bad. As memories go.
What is it, Stephanie? What happened?
Oh, it's nothing like that. I mean, no one's been hurt.
Then what?
Well, I was over at Brooks' house, and I saw something. Well, I saw something that...
קח צ'אנס, כל ניחוש נכון זוכה.
היופי עולה לרגלייך, כאן, כאן, בכל עונה, בכל עונה, כל השנה, תמיד מתאימים לך, תמיד מתאימים לך. היופי עולה לרגלייך, כאן, כאן. כלבים, כלבים, חופש לעולם. כלבים, כלבים, הנופש המושלם. כלבים, כלבים, כבר נופש נהדר. כלבים, אילת, כאן הנופש לא נגמר, לא נגמר.
דיסק להיטים מתנה עם קוקה קולה מיוזיק. קנו 2 שישיות ליטר וחצי של קוקה קולה, הדביקו 12 בולים על הגלויה המצורפת לשישייה, והדיסק יחכה לכם בחנות התקליטים. פרטים על האריזות ובטלמסר.
A lot of my readers worry how to keep hair looking healthy. Because ordinary shampoos don't condition hair, blow drying and styling can make our hair look this unhealthy. That's why I checked out Pantene Pro V. Its patented pro vitamins penetrate into the hair, so Pantene's treatment system nourishes and protects. What a difference! Now my hair looks so healthy. And it really shines. That's why I recommend Pantene.
פנטן פרו וי, לשיער כל כך בריא שהוא מבריק.
הייתם צריכים לראות אותי קודם.
אקמול של טבע, כי אין אקמול אחר. רדיו ללא הפסקה, 103 FM. לא תפתח, לא תשמע.
קרפרי מציגה מגן תחתון אוורירי להרגשה יותר רעננה לאורך כל היום.
רעננה עם קרפרי, רעננה עם קרפרי, רעננה כל היום.
קרפרי אוורירי באריזת הטורקיז הוא מגן תחתון עם שכבה תחתונה ייחודית המאפשרת לאורך לנשום בחופשיות. חדש, מגן תחתון קרפרי אוורירי להרגשה עוד יותר רעננה כל היום.
רעננה כל היום.
דיסק להיטים מתנה בקניית 2 שישיות קוקה קולה.
חשבת שאתה לא יכול להשיג את המטבח הטוב ביותר? ההפך הוא הנכון. מטבחי טומטו.
אופנת חורף בשקם, עכשיו ב6 תשלומים. פן שישי מארח את אהוד ברק, כוחו הפוליטי של המצטרף החדש לצמרת העבודה, על דרכו לראשות הממשלה, ובינתיים, האם יוכל לסייע לפרס להעביר מהלך מדיני כואב מול הסורים. פן שישי היום ב8 בערב.
רומנטיקה אחרי השקיעה, כל ראשון ורביעי, ב6 סניורה עם הלהט, התשוקה והנקמה. ב7 דניאל סטיל, הסופרת האהובה בעולם, מגישה את כוחה של אהבה, סיפור אהבה נואש בצל המלחמה בווייטנאם. סניורה, דניאל סטיל, שעתיים של אהבה, כל ראשון ורביעי.
שישי בתלעד, ב8:45 השבוע הארוך ביותר, מכיכר מלכי ישראל ועד לכיכר יצחק רבין, התמונות והקולות. ב9:20 נקודת פריצה, פטריק סווייזי וקיאנו ריבס, את המשחק ביניהם רק המוות יכול לעצור. וב11:50 רצח מאדום לשחור, סדרת המתח המצליחה זוכת פרס האמי לסדרה הטובה ביותר. שישי בתלעד, אתם לא לבד.
You went over to Brooks? What were you doing there?
Thorne talked me into going.
Thorne?
Well, he convinced me. He convinced me that I'm fighting a losing battle, and that you and Brooke care for one another and have a right to get married. So I was going to go over and talk to her and prove it to myself once and for all.
And did you?
Well, I saw her.
You didn't argue, I hope.
No, because we didn't even have a chance to talk.
You just told me you saw her.
I did.
Stephanie, what are you talking about?
Look, you know, I honestly went over there with the idea of trying to make peace, you know, of accepting a relationship that I was so certain was wrong. I went over with the idea of really giving Brooke the benefit of the doubt. I went against my better judgment. I went against my instincts because Thorne convinced me for one moment that those instincts weren't valid. But you know something, Eric? They are valid.
No, Stephanie, they're not.
Yes, they are, because I saw something that proved that they are.
And what's that?
I saw Brooke in the arms of another man.
Is that so?
Eric, I know that this isn't easy for you. And believe me when I tell you, it isn't easy for me to say it. It was Rich.
You know, I'd forgotten about some of these.
And you used to give me a hard time about taking pictures.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did know.
Yeah, I guess I am too.
You weren't always very happy about it.
I hadn't opened this photo album from last summer until just tonight.
Why'd you open it tonight?
I guess I'm able to handle it now.
It's good. It says good things about you and Dad.
You really like this guy?
Yeah, I really like him.
Then stay out of it. Let Margot and he work out their own problems.
Thorne, that is easier said than done.
Why? Is he dragging you into it?
No, but it affects him, like, all the time.
What do you mean it affects him?
Jake is an incredibly attractive man with a great personality, a dry sense of humor. He's perfect. Everything I'm looking for in a guy. But he's troubled, Thorne, deeply troubled. And he can't get away from it. Yes, he tries, but it doesn't work. I mean, I can tell it's always on his mind. He's preoccupied. Obsessed might be a better word.
And it's this problem with his sister that's troubling him.
Yeah. It's like the sword of Damocles, always hanging over his head, threatening him in some way, threatening us in the process. I would do anything to know what it is.
And you're not close enough with this guy for him to confide in you?
We're very close. I love him. But this is something that is so devastating, so overwhelming to Jake that he can't open up. Not to me, not to anyone.
get away, but I feel him slipping away. I feel it. What do I do to help him?
Am I to assume that you are blackmailing me?
Blackmail? Why, that's a crime, isn't it? Certainly not. I'm not here with any criminal intent whatsoever.
That's good. Because my next move was to ask you to go right to that door. You have nothing on me, Sally. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing? Really?
If you'll excuse me, I do have a publishing company to run.
I'm not here on a fishing expedition, Mr. Spencer. I have proof. I have eyewitness proof of your involvement not only in the ownership, but in the day-to-day operations of a ring of at least 12 smutty magazines. Would you care to comment on that, sir?
Get out.
All right. But please remember that I gave you fair warning before I made any moves, which is more than you did for me and Macy. I really do have enough to bury you, you know, personally and professionally, and I'm quite willing to do it. If you don't believe me, I suggest you take a ringside seat and watch. Sally Garrison is nobody to make a war with. She has a nasty habit of making up for it when somebody hurts those she loves. So, make peace with me, because if you don't, I suggest you get ready for Hell Week, because you are just about to start living it.
Sally? What do you want? Name your price.
How are you and Dad doing these days?
We're fine.
I predict a wedding by the end of summer. That would solve all your problems, wouldn't it?
I suppose so.
You worry too much.
You always said that about me.
Yeah, well, things work out the way you want them to. Most of the time they do.
Rich, if there's anything I can do to help you, I promised Caroline that I would look after you.
Logan. Is that all you promised, Caroline?
I don't believe this.
Well, pick up the phone and call her.
Oh, I see. And if she doesn't verify it, she's lying, right? Look, I've heard enough of this.
Well, talk to Ridge. You know Ridge. He will not lie.
Stephanie, there's nothing going on there. I am sure of that.
It was a very intimate moment. You know that I believe completely she has never gotten over Ridge.
You stop this.
Pick up the phone and talk to her. This isn't giving me any pleasure. It irritates the hell out of me to think that some woman who's supposed to love you can't keep her hands off of our son. Now, why don't you start asking some hard questions? And the first one ought to be, who is the father of that child? Are you absolutely certain that that baby
That's
is
enough,
yours?
Stephanie. That's enough.
Eric, I was willing to give Brooke the benefit of the doubt. If this hadn't happened, believe me, I was. Now, if I can be, and am willing to be, objective, it's time that you do the same thing.
השבוע הארוך ביותר, מכיכר מלכי ישראל ועד לכיכר יצחק רבין, התמונות והקולות. הערב, 8:45, ערוץ 2, תל-אביב.
סבא שלי, החלום שלו היה להגיע לאמריקה. עוד באביב של פראג הוא היה מגיש את תחזית מזג האוויר בסיביר. בכל ערב הוא היה פותח את מהדורת החדשות ואומר, גם מחר יהיה קר.
דני רופ עם התחזית, בכל יום, בחדשות ערוץ 2.
טכנולוגיה חדשה ישר מאמריקה. מזג אוויר כזה עוד לא ראיתם.
שלישי בתל-אביב. ב-6, הזדמנות שנייה, סיפורה של עיירה קטנה עם יצרים גדולים. ב-7, לינגו עם גיל אלון. הפרסים הולכים וגדלים, אך למי שיש רק מזל, לא יגיע רחוק. וב-7:30, הקומדי סטור, התשובה השפויה לעולם מטורף. שלישי בתל-אביב, אתם לא לבד.
יום שלישי, התאונה שלא הייתה. מה בדיוק קרה בכור האטומי שהביא למותם של 5? למה שכחו אותם? למה לא סיפרו את האמת? שלישי, 9:15, עובדה.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat Everybody does one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If the scat man can do it, so can you. Everybody's saying that the scat man stutters but does and never stutter when he sings. But what you don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now that the stutter and the scat is the same thing. Yo, I'm the scat man. Where's the scat man? I'm the scat man. It would be pleasing an audition reasons who would try to change the seasons if they could. The state of the condition insults my intuition only makes me hear in a heart like wood. Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, don't let nothing hold you back. If the scat man can do it, brother, so can you. I'm the scat man. Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you.